Hey Internet, I have the dynamic duo of tech tubers, Paul and Kyle, right here. We are at Intel's event. They've done Core i9, Core X, Xeon X, but the thing we want to talk about here, we don't have all the numbers, but we understand there is actually already the latest controversy the Internet can get mad about, and that is some numbers that seem to show AMD performing lower than expected, right?
Gasps from the audience.
Gasps from the audience.
Perhaps.
Of course, our numbers, we are not done yet. We haven't been able to test parts. Our reviews will run later, so we have not tested them. But there is actually an independent third-party analyst house, Principal Technologies. They do Web Expert. Been around the business for a long time. Pretty good guys, mostly mobile, but they have reports showing that the new Core i9-9900K, the top-end 8-core hyper-threaded part with STIM, solder TIM, is significantly faster than everything out there, including, and this is going to get hackles raising, the 2700X. They show, what's a good one? Let's find...
It depends on the test you're looking at.
Depends on the test.
And we've really only just barely had a chance to start looking over these numbers, and it's hard to make comparisons with independent tests. You're not necessarily... They did list all of their methodology and everything here, but to like exactly compare these to like test numbers that we've done in the past is kind of difficult to do.
Right.
So on first glance, it seems like a fairly legitimate layout as far as their methodology. They tested 19 different games, but when you look at some of the results, it seems like the AMD numbers might not exactly be where they should. Again, we're dealing with very preliminary analysis of these numbers.
As you can tell from the table, we're all liquored up. I've already spilled my martini on myself. Let me give you a number though. Core i9-9900K, 148 frames per second, rounding up. Ryzen 7 2700X, 126.2. That's probably, I think, probably realistic, right? You've got the higher clocks of 9900K.
17% difference. This is in War Thunder Tank Battle. War Thunder Tank Battle.
Right, War Thunder Tank Battle. Okay. I could see the clock speeds of it. We're talking stock clock 9900K. That's not crazy, right? That's not. But this is the one that's going to get people going. And Ashes of Singularity, which of course is probably recognized as the best example of DirectX 12 multi-threaded performance. Core i9-9900K, 57.3 frames per second. Ryzen 7 2700X, 38.3, which is a 49.6% delta.
That's a big drop off.
What do you think?
Which leads us into the next point also is that this is being released to the public a full, 10 days before any of our reviews can actually go live. And coincidentally, pre-orders are now available for this chip. So a lot of interested buyers might be looking at any benchmarks they can find, and if that's the only source, they might just pull the trigger, seeing what a huge gap there is between the latest Core i9 and the 2700X. And we have no way to verify that. We've signed a contract and stuff. Our hands are kind of tied. So
Kyle, I understand you always buy it though. You just
of course. I have integrity.
He's got lots of money though.
I'm loaded.
Internet memes.
That's my thing.
It's because of Lyle. Lyle has some shady businesses in the background. Kyle mainly is a beneficiary.
Triad money.
He's got a laundering facility in China.
I've heard it's triad money is what I've heard. We don't want to get into that. I don't want to get rubbed out.
We've already said too much.
Too close to home, Gordon, I think.
So, no matter what, don't you think that in general, Core i9s, it's going to be faster? Right?
It's going to be faster.
Of course.
There's no reason to think it's not going to be faster. I mean, if you look at Skylake versus Kaby Lake, run up at the same frequencies, they're the same. Like single core performance, instructions per clock performance is exactly the same between them at the same exact frequency. I think that's my question right now, is if you take the 9900K and maybe disable cores or do something to put it at parity with like an 8700K or something like that, is there an actual uptick in performance just straight at the architecture level? I doubt it.
No.
But addition of soldered TIM, higher frequency, you get some benefits there, and that's shown to be a pretty big performance gain when it comes to gaming. So it's going to be the best gaming CPU out there, and it's not horribly priced if you're comparing it to like a $1,200 RTX 2080 Ti or something like that.
Right.
I mean, it's more expensive than CPUs were a little while back, but I don't know. I'm sure there's going people be in the comments who are like, they're price gouging us and all this kind of stuff, but I don't know. It seems somewhat reasonable, but maybe I'm just tempering this based on the somewhat unreasonable other launches in the past year that have been very expensive.
Maybe that's part of the strategery.
Yeah.
It's like we'll just sell CPUs for 2,000, so when we sell a mainstream chip for 500, people don't freak out.
It's not that bad. Very common marketing technique. I think.
We were looking at prices of 2700Xs right now, which is currently the
$300.
$300
With
and
the
this
cooler.
is-
With the cooler.
with the cooler too.
There's
It's
you
good
can get a 1700 for like 190, I think today.
Yeah.
For an
Really?
for an 8 core, yeah, 190 or 200
Wow.
for an 8 core 1700.
Yeah.
Do you,
That's a good deal.
it feels to me like that's a challenge for Intel, though, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be. I think when everybody's done with their tests, I think it will be the faster part. Is it going to be $223 value faster? Is the question, right? That's a tough one for gamers, especially.
Exactly. That's what I was saying is like it sort of depends on the perspective you're looking at it from. Like when I first saw that price, 480 something for the 9900K, I was like, that's not too bad because I was thinking about it from a creator standpoint where I was like, I would use it for editing and the extra cores. I can leverage all this horsepower. But the average gamer who, even if you're streaming and stuff, like that's a big price to pay for, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trailing off now.
I think the elephant in the room that Intel really doesn't want us to talk about is right now, AMD is shipping CPUs in bulk based on a 12 nanometer process. AMD is actually shipping CPUs that are on a more refined manufacturing process than Intel is right now. When was the last time that happened? Has that ever happened?
No, it is the first time in computing history that I can think of. So,
Right.
Are they 12? I thought there were 16s or 14, 15, 14.
14? They went from 14 to 12 when it was Zen Plus.
Okay,
Right.
right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
God, there's been too many launches this year. You're right. So
It's
12.
it's the beer, and I'm right there with you. I can't remember most of the stuff either.
That is a point AMD made at CES. God, Computex. That's what they said is like, in the old days, Intel we catch up to Intel, they were run away on process because they have always been better at process than everybody. And for the first time in Intel's history, it's really hard to get smaller. And AMD's confident, like, yeah, you know what? They're not gonna get away from us this time. But I don't know.
They're definitely catching up.
Intel started talking about 10 nanometer in like 2015. I think was when they first started talking about it, and then they had potential launches in 2016 and then 2017, and now next year, right?
Right.
Next year for sure.
But that's definitely a challenge. The other thing I want to talk about, since let's just get all the Anger edition out.
Good idea.
Hyper-threading. i7, i5, no more hyper-threading for you. Now, I would argue that it's sort of, you get it still on Core i9, so it's not like a lot of people are saying no more hyper-threading, but it's a premium feature now.
For a premium price.
For premium price,
You no longer get hyperthreading for the same price. You have to pay quite a bit more for the same privilege that you've had for generations. I think a lot of people are going to be a little salty about that, and
I think it'll be, definitely angry.
Maybe also as confusing as naming schemes are in the build your own PC world when it comes to chipsets and motherboard varieties and all the different CPUs, they've taken a standard that they've established since the Sandy Bridge days, since the first Core days, that, the i7s have hyperthreading. That was the feature. Upgrade to i7, you get hyperthreading, and now that's not there anymore. So I don't know how many people were laboring under the delusion that that was going to continue and might be deceived by that. Like, that's probably not going to happen. But on the other hand, though, like, I know when a manufacturer is coming out with a product, especially something like a GPU or a CPU, they often have to compete with themselves to some degree. So creating a product stack that can provide people with the product at a reasonable price that's cut down in performance some versus the high-end one that they can charge a little bit more for, there's different ways that they can go about doing that. And in this case, if the end result is that removing hyperthreading still leads to sort of a step up in performance that's kind of goes along with the pricing increase, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Okay. You're being too reasonable.
Maybe that's too reasonable.
I was expecting anger. They
Right,
took our hyper-threading
You're cut
away.
off. No more beer. No more
Where's
beer.
our hyper-threading?
More beer, that's
They
right.
took our jobs and our hyper-threading.
it's numbing you.
To me, it very much is it's like, it's okay to lower my taxes, but you can never raise them. And
true.
it's hard to ever
Yeah.
get over that.
Yep.
Right.
And we know how angry people get over raising taxes.
They
so.
took it away.
It's a big
They
problem.
took the hyperthreading away.
Oh, not as angry as I expected.
Sorry,
You know.
you should have gotten us before
Right,
we
right.
started
Yeah,
drinking.
while we were sober, would have
jovial
been.
and
Next time you want to rant,
All right.
catch me when I wake up in the morning.
What's your guess for Xeon WX pricing? Nobody can be wrong because
all right.
you can't guess too high.
so
28 core Xeon coming out in December. all that goodness. 6 channels. You ain't got that in Threadripper 2. That's shame.
How much does the existing 28 core cost? Is that 10 grand?
$8,000 to $10,000.
8 to 10
The
grand?
18 core is $2,000, and the new
Okay.
18 core with the new solder and higher clocks, $2,000.
All right.
$2,000 for 18.
My opinion on this, and
Ian Cuttress said 5,000.
5,000?
Yeah,
All
Ian
right.
Cuttress, he was just guessing.
I'm gonna
Probably
go.
drunk.
I'm gonna go 5,001.
What is this? The
One
Price
do-
is Right? Jesus.
No. I'm actually gonna say like 7,000.
Wow.
And let me say why. Let me say why I think they can charge that much. If they're already charging 8 to 10 grand for their 28 core, and people are paying that, enterprise customers, like that's nothing to them. They didn't announce this as a consumer product. They're still calling it a Xeon. It's an unlocked Xeon. I feel like Xeons are still tied to their enterprise market, so maybe they're still going to kind of try to keep this in the price range with those, because that's always the problem with like these really high core count CPUs. Are we going to compete with the enterprise market, because that's where they make lots of money, because things are very expensive?
Okay.
So I don't know, 7,000 might be high, but
But it also makes sense too, because I feel for like a company, it's easier to release a product at a higher price and then drop it down if sales are shit,
Yeah.
as opposed to going the other way around and increasing that rate. So.
yeah. So I'll be interested, like as it gets closer to launch, to see how they continue pitching it.
Okay.
Because Unlock Xeon I hadn't heard before. I mean, we used to have Unlock Xeons back in the day. It was
Right.
lots of fun. I never overclocked them, but anyway.
I've heard stories.
Heard stories.
Heard great
stories. It's tons of fun.
So
EVGA SR1.
$7,000, Paul.
I'm just saying, if they're trying to pitch this as an enterprise product, I think they're going to stick with enterprise pricing.
Okay. Intel, hear that? Paul on YouTube says, don't go for Ian's 5,000, go for 7,000.
Aim high.
Just go for it.
Aim high.
Hashtag blame Paul.
I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate on this
We were
video.
going to make it.
High
we were going
prices
to
are
make
fine.
it $800.
No
Paul
problem.
said 7. We're going to make it 7. Kyle, what's your guess?
1,000.
Well,
Whoa!
That makes me the hero. That makes me the hero.
undercutting the 18 core.
No,
And
I
the
would
16
honestly
and the
probably
14.
say somewhere between 5 and 7. So I'm going to say 6. I'm going to say 6.
6.
But honestly, before Paul chimed in with his response, I was going to say something a little bit less than 5K. I was going to say something like 3,500. I think was mine. But
So you may go. Wait. So your official answer is 5, not 35.
you know what? I'm
going
going
with Ian?
to play the wild card. I'm going to say 3,500.
Okay.
3,500. And I could be totally wrong, but if I'm right, it'll be a miracle and everyone will love me and I'll be a hero.
That sounds pretty
So
good.
I'll be happy.
Half of Paul's.
Half of Paul's.
Half of Paul's. He's like, okay, I'm going to take half of whatever Paul's bet is.
Get the discount.
I have an insider's track, which is, I talked to some Intel people, and they said, "Did you hear what Ian at Nantech said? He said 5,000.
Like that's low, or
That's
that's
ridiculous. It's not going to be
We're charging
that
way
high."
more than
that's-
that.
Well, he's
so
like,
high.
they're like, not going to be that. That's just crazy.
all
And I win.
So they're
Totally
saying
right.
lower.
so less than that. All right.
But you got to remember, it's Intel, and they like money. They like paying people. They like paying having a profitable business. I just can't. $33,000.
Three
I'm
grand.
gonna undercut Kyle.
3K?
Gonna
Flat?
be way under you. Ian's
right.
at 5. You're at 7.
All right.
I love the guessing games because nobody ever
That was,
knows.
I was at 7 before I heard your insider info. Now I feel like I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's Intel because it's like that's
But-
crazy.
but now they'll watch
You're only
this-
going to charge $4,995.
It'll be my fault now that they raised the price. I'm sorry. Don't publish this video. Just
Well,
cut out that part.
oh.
Dub over. I actually said
Cut.
$500.
Oh, $500.
Yes. You
It
can-
was. He gave
that
it in the metric system.
Oh yeah.
The metric system, 5,000, as we know, is 500.
It's British
We don't
pounds.
understand it.
Yeah.
$500. So Paul is going sub 5 now.
He was
Yeah,
in-
all right, you can go.
He was in rupees.
You got that.
I have no idea how to negotiate.
All right.
Pesos.
So no, you're going to stick with
I
We
mean,
don't know.
my initial impression was like
expensive, right? Expensive.
because we heard the rumors, right? The rumors in the past week or two. They're gonna have X599 and they're gonna have Z399 and they're gonna split into the high-end desktop / creator platform / gaming and the super high-end like high core count stuff that's only makes sense for people actually using software that uses that many cores. The impression I got was that they're keeping that super high core count stuff in that enterprise category where things are very expensive by calling it an unlocked Xeon rather than saying here's our new chipset here's a consumer platform. I don't know. That's just the feeling I get from Xeons. Xeons are always very expensive.
They're always expensive, and I got to say, like, even coming into this, we had a guessing game on how much 9900K was going to be. I was saying I really wanted it to be 350,
That would have been nice.
right? 350, very disruptive, pushing 6700, or whatever, the i7 down to 250, compressing the stack. But I said at the time, Intel often doesn't disappoint us in the opposite direction. So I said it probably would be a lot of people were saying 550, and I think 500 to 523, which is going for it's. But you don't think it's that bad, so I think.
Wait,
it's,
is it 523?
No,
What's
it's 480.
For
Are we talking about
was-
the 9900K?
yeah.
on the
it's like-
street though, it's like
That's bin
520.
price.
Oh, sure.
That's for 1,000.
Right. So
So
1K. So it'll get down to 4.
yeah.
So I mean, you're right. Actually, that's not that bad. 480. That's
And if you want a deal on your 9900K, just buy 1,000 of them.
just buy 1,000.
Get that bulk
Get
pricing.
them at cost.
Huh. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
We are going to have more to drink, get more angry over all the things you want to get angry about internet, but check out Paul's Hardware and Bitwit. They are the dynamic duo of YouTube. I love their video. Awesome stuff. And of course, say hi to Lyle. Everybody will say hi to Lyle.
I'll give him your regards.
Yes. Okay.